room. This is the play that just occurred.
That's like she tries to slide over right there, and Hartley just kind of falls and makes collision with that lower leg. You see her immediately grab it. And she went down hard and was clearly in a lot of pain.
Sophie Cunningham went down after a brutal knee collision, and fans, including her own family, wasted no time blasting the officiating for failing to protect players. To them, it's another chapter in a disturbing pattern. The groin shot that sidelined Caitlin Clark, J.C. Sheldon's infamous eye poke, Marina Mabrey's reckless foul. Every matchup with the Sun seems to leave someone on the Fever hurt, and frustration is hitting a boiling point. But instead of folding, Indiana punched back. Kelsey Mitchell dropped a career-high 38. Odyssey Sims delivered big minutes fresh off a hardship deal, and Lexie Hull buried a clutch 3 as the Fever clawed to a 99-93 overtime win no one saw coming. The real question: how did they flip the script after such a brutal first half? If you're backing Sophie and the Fever, wish her a speedy recovery in the comments. Let's go.
Shot clock down to 6 for the Fever. Turner, up fade. Turner kicks it. Hull three-pointer. Bottom!
Indiana,
7 on the shot clock, 25 seconds in regulation.
they gotta get to the rim.
Charles has to hoist and connects. Wow. The Indiana Fever prove their resiliency.
Fever dub! Bow, bow, bow! Dubs in the chat. Yeah. And the win goal!
For Indiana, the problem started well before tip-off. The Fever came in missing all 3 of their true point guards. Caitlin Clark still out with a mid-July groin injury, Sydney Carlson gone for the year with a torn ACL, and Ari McDonald sidelined by a broken foot. That left the roster without a natural floor general, forcing coach Stephanie White to completely rewire her offense. Instead of sharpening sets for the postseason like most teams this late in the year, Indiana had to scrap and simplify, leaning on basic actions that wouldn't overload players suddenly thrust into ball-handling duties far outside their comfort zones.
After Phoenix, it was a quick turnaround to figure out, how we're going to play without, Ari and Sid. And now we got to figure out how we're going to play without Soph. And we've got to figure out, who can play in certain roles. What are our substitution patterns going to be? What kind of wrinkles can we throw out there? It doesn't get easier. And I think we come back and have Minnesota twice. Right, so it's really good mentally, physically, and emotionally for us, and then it gives us practice time, which we're going to need.
The challenge only escalated once the game tipped off. Midway through the second quarter, Sophie Cunningham went down hard in a collision under the rim, logging barely 10 minutes before exiting for good. Her shooting and grit had been a lifeline in Stephanie White's patched-together rotation, and losing her stripped the Fever of both depth and floor spacing, the backbone of their offense. Suddenly, players unaccustomed to heavy minutes were thrust into expanded roles, forcing White's staff to juggle energy, matchups, and sheer survival. By halftime, Indiana's rotation looked paper-thin, and the coaching staff was left plugging leaks wherever they sprang.
We got Sophie Cunningham writhing around in pain, definitely hurt, and Sophie's one tough cookie. If Sophie's kicking and screaming like this, no Will Farrell. She's in pain. We even have Connecticut Sun players. Look at that. Connecticut Sun players, Connecticut Sun training staff coming up to her as the Fever starts making their way down.
On paper, everything screamed blowout. But instead of folding, Indiana turned the chaos into fuel, proving that a thin roster didn't mean a soft fight. It was survival mode, and a loud statement that they wouldn't go quietly. Yet the toughest moment of the night was still ahead. Cunningham's brutal collision didn't just gut the Fever's rotation. It reignited the simmering outrage over how WNBA games are being officiated, putting the spotlight back on player safety at the very moment Indiana was fighting to stay afloat.
Every day in our huddle, that's what we say together. And it's just more than words for us. I think when you see things happening, there's no other way. If you spread apart, the season goes down quicker than anything else. And we talk about, but the injuries, people are probably expecting us to just fold, just like you said. And that's not us. We come in the locker room and we're motivated. We continue to be motivated every single time we step on that floor. At halftime, we were motivated, chip away, and that's our mindset. And just continue to uplift people. When one person goes down, we say it all the time, the next woman stands up. And that's really just just been our motto and been what we've had to do a lot this season, and that's what we're just going to continue to do.
The game's turning point came midway through the second quarter in one of the most frightening moments of the season. Driving to the rim, Bria Hartley lost her balance and crashed straight into Sophie Cunningham's right knee. The arena went silent as Cunningham collapsed, clutching her leg in agony. Unable to stand, she was helped off the floor, with the Fever later confirming she would undergo an MRI to assess the injury. Adding fuel to the anger, officials let play continue without a whistle, a no call that immediately sparked outrage from fans in the building and across social media.
How does she magically lower her shoulder into Sophie Cunningham's legs? Can somebody please explain that to me? Can somebody please explain those physics? Again, don't want to hear it, because this is a dirty play.
Fans erupted instantly. Many stood, waving at referees, shouting for play to stop as Cunningham lay writhing under the basket. But the game rolled on, and that image only deepened the fury, not just in the stands, but on Indiana's bench. A starter had to be carried off the court, and still there was no whistle, no signal from the officials. Afterward, Coach Stephanie White didn't hide her feelings, admitting her first reaction to seeing Cunningham in such obvious pain was raw and unfiltered.
Do you have an update on Sophie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do more like MRI.
Yeah, MRI tomorrow.
Sorry, just quickly on something. I mean, what's going through your mind when you see her down like that, and you're jogging over there?
I'm like, holy shit. I mean, especially the way that she fell and, how she was holding herself and how much pain she was in. At the time, it's like crap. And then you go down there and you see her and it's like, okay, just want her to calm down and be able to regroup.
To many fans, this wasn't just an unfortunate accident. It felt like another entry in a growing file. And because it happened against the sun, memories of past collisions rushed back immediately. J.C. Sheldon's eye poke on Caitlin Clark in June. Marina Mabrey's hard foul that sent Clark crashing to the floor. Sheldon's knee to Clark's groin on July 15th, the hit that's kept her sidelined for over a month. Fans and commentators had already called those plays reckless and wondered why the league hadn't stepped in with stronger discipline. In that context, Cunningham's injury didn't feel like random bad luck. To them, it looked like yet another example of a star being left unprotected, part of a pattern the WNBA has yet to confront.
Oh, and Cunningham is down. My goodness. Should be. Scary moment as we went to commercial. Sophie Cunningham hit the floor hard, and she is being helped off the floor, heading back to the locker room.
If emotions were already running hot, they hit a boiling point when Sophie Cunningham's family joined the conversation. Her sister Lindsay fired directly at the WNBA, writing, "WNBA, maybe you should focus less on finding players for commenting on your poor officiating and more on hiring officials who can call a consistent game and protect your athletes. Pathetic. Praying for you." That wasn't just an angry fan. It was family calling out the league in public. Then Sophie's mother, Paula Cunningham, shared, and later deleted, a post describing Bria Hartley as plain mean and out of control. Those words carried weight. For many fans, they didn't just describe one collision. They amplified the growing sense that players aren't being protected and that the league's officiating standards are failing them.
Bria Hartley deserves zero benefit of the doubt. And Sophie Cunningham's family not too happy. I believe this is Mama C. Hartley is a disgruntled player having trouble everywhere she goes. She's plain mean and plays out of control. Looked out of control to me. Maybe you should focus, her sister. Maybe you should focus less on finding players for commenting on your poor officiating and more about hiring officials that are capable to call a consistent game and protect your athletes. Pathetic. Praying for you. The only good thing positive surrounding Sophie Cunningham coming out of this game, she looked in good spirits in the locker.
At the heart of it all was a question of accountability. Bria Hartley's history of on-court clashes, documented in past reporting, only intensified the backlash. Fans on social media accused her of recklessness, with some calling for suspension and others demanding the league step in to re-examine officiating standards, whether the contact was intentional or not. The absence of a whistle on the play that injured Sophie Cunningham turned simmering frustration into open fury. But that outrage also sparked a shift. Indiana stopped waiting for sympathy or for officials to suddenly tighten up the game. The Fever turned raw anger into fuel, channeling every ounce of it into emotion and resilience. As the closing minutes approached, all that intensity crystallized through one player, and her sudden takeover would change not just this game, but Indiana's entire outlook moving forward.
I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you too. Proud of you. I'm so proud of you guys. I know that sometimes it sounds like just a word when we talk about being resilient, but it's not, man. It's how we live. Yep. It's how y'all live, and it's a tribute to you. It's a tribute to your connectedness, your togetherness, your toughness, your mindset. You never give up gritty attitudes. Like, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. And
Kelsey Mitchell responded to the chaos with one of the most electrifying scoring bursts the Fever have ever witnessed. After a quiet first half with just 4 points, she came out of the locker room with an entirely different mindset, aggressive, fearless, and demanding the ball on every trip. By the final buzzer, Mitchell had poured in 38 points, tying her career high and setting the mark for the WNBA's top single-game scoring performance this season. Even more remarkable, 34 of those points came after halftime, with 10 in overtime alone as Indiana clawed its way to a stunning win when they needed her most.
An assassin, Kelsey Mitchell, has a new career high. Backdoor Mitchell, bouncing in the paint for 2. Kelsey Mitchell, the big is matched up. Mitchell squeezing through for 2 at the foul. Fouls on the other end. It's Mitchell launching it, connecting.
Mitchell's scoring outburst wasn't just about volume. It was ruthlessly efficient. She finished 11 of 22 from the floor, drilled 5 of her 8 attempts from beyond the arc, and calmly knocked down 11 of 12 free throws while adding 6 assists to keep Indiana's offense from devolving into hero ball. Every shot carried weight, with the Fever climbing out of a 21-point hole where a single empty possession could have flipped momentum back to Connecticut. Instead, Mitchell delivered in every clutch moment. Step-back jumpers in the fourth, back-to-back threes to erase deficits, and ice-cold free throws to close out overtime. This wasn't reckless gunning. It was surgical shot-making under maximum pressure.
Your New England Ford dealers and the Ford Bronco family goat modes, the official SUVs of the Connecticut Sun. Mitchell connects.
Reading the defense and reckless closeout. So you have to make sure you let the shooter land here. Landing space needs to happen. Looks like Mitchell also clutching her leg here as well.
Regular closeout review. If it is, it's going to be just make 1. Okay, go take 1 in.
Coach Stephanie White admitted afterward she was speechless, saying Mitchell put us on her back, making big shot after big shot, big play after big play. From the sideline, it was obvious. Every Sun defender locked onto her, yet nothing slowed the rhythm she'd found. By the time overtime arrived, there was no question whose game this had become.
Kelsey, your second half, you get 34 of your points just
Damn!
the last after halftime. What took over you? How did you get it done on the floor?
I think it was more about what we did from a standpoint of like the mindset and the mentality from half to half. It sucked for me first half. It just wasn't, and I think that, it wasn't as well for our group, but the resiliency is true in our room. Seeing Soph go down and then knowing what happened with Sid and knowing what happened with Ari and then knowing what happened with Cece, it's like, I think a lot of it was just God and being able to like stay prepared and stay in your mental state to be able to compete. But I really think that that's the most resilient that we've ever been because of everything we've been through. So I think a lot of it you just tap into your team and you just love on your team. And I think, great things can happen.
This eruption etched Mitchell into Fever history. Her 38 points marked her 11th career 30-point game, passing Tamika Catchings for the most in franchise history. It's more than a milestone. It highlights years of elite consistency, now amplified in a season where Indiana leans on her more than ever. Averaging nearly 20 points per game, Mitchell sits top 5 league-wide, with nights like this vaulting her into MVP chatter. Recognition came fast. Caitlin Clark, absent for family reasons, posted just 2 words: MVP Kels. Mitchell's performance showed Indiana isn't just Clark or bust. She looked like a true franchise anchor, capable of carrying the roster when everything else was wobbling.
I don't even think there are any words. I mean, when you look at Kelsey's play and you look at what she means to the squad, I mean, coming out of that second half and going off the way that she did, I think it kind of speaks for her case in general. She comes out, she defends, she scores the ball, she plays 40 minutes a game, and it's just like, and she still consistently puts up these numbers. I feel like if she's not MVP, shoot.
MVP is crazy. I don't even think I thought about that.
That impact went far beyond numbers on a box score. Indiana's 99-93 overtime win wasn't just dramatic. It was the largest comeback in franchise history, powered almost entirely by Mitchell's second-half takeover. Instead of crumbling under injuries, foul no calls, and Connecticut's trademark physicality, the Fever watched their veteran guard pull them back into the playoff picture they'd been sliding out of. Without that eruption, it's another frustrating loss. With it, the team's entire trajectory and confidence flipped overnight.
In a low stance defensively, matched up with Mitchell, fires up a 3. Kelsey Mitchell! Oh my! Mitchell comes back for it with 8. Sims, up fake, back out, Mitchell. Got Rivers in the air, Kelsey Mitchell again! You betcha! Wow!
Still, Mitchell's masterpiece didn't stand alone. Behind every historic takeover are teammates who do the dirty work, fill gaps, and make the quiet plays that keep a season alive. Indiana's comeback wasn't just one star going nuclear. It was a patchwork roster refusing to fold. Players who rarely see their names in big headlines steadied possessions, fought for rebounds, and hit just enough timely shots to keep the door open. Mitchell lit the fire, but the Fever's role players kept it burning when it could have gone out.
We will never be counted out, because that is worth gold. That is worth gold. Kels, goddamn baby. Put us on your back. Oh, big time.
Odyssey Sims embodied that perfectly. Signed to a hardship deal just to keep Indiana's roster from collapsing, she played like a veteran starter, not a stopgap. Sims delivered 19 points and 7 assists, but her impact went far deeper than the numbers. She shredded Connecticut's full-court pressure, calmed possessions when they teetered on chaos, and consistently put Kelsey Mitchell in spots to attack. On a night when the Fever had no true point guard, Sims gave them structure and gave their star the platform to shine.
Mabry knifes off the screen. Charles is doubled.
And Indiana looks like they're in a zone right now.
Kick out and stolen by Mitchell. Explodes 2-on-1. Sims elevates for 2 and a foul.
Bug with their point guards. This is where you have Odyssey Sims coming in. Kelsey Mitchell making a great heads-up play here, but Odyssey Sims has done a great job early on coming in.
Aaliyah Boston was just as vital, owning the paint with a performance that didn't scream for attention but quietly dictated everything. She posted 14 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Her 15th double-double of the season, a new franchise record. Battling constant double teams, Boston's effort extended possessions, reset Indiana's offense with sharp outlet passes, and erased breakdowns with clutch rim protection. Her interior stability gave the Fever the foundation to climb back into the game.
Boston backs down Hartley. Aaliyah Boston, excellent post position. Picks up the dribble. Shot clock winding down to 7. Mabry, lob pass. Charles catches. No foul call. That's a huge no call. Looks for cutters. Charles the defense. Back on to Boston. Tina Charles. Backdoor Mitchell pouncing in the paint for 2. 30 points for Mitchell. That's the 4th on Charles.
Can't get caught ball watching right there. Great recognition by Boston as Mitchell makes that backdoor cut.
And then came the moment no one in the building will forget. Lexie Hull's dagger. With 44.9 seconds left in overtime and Indiana barely holding on, Hull drifted to the corner and drilled a three that effectively buried Connecticut's rally. Her 8 points won't jump off the stat sheet, but that single shot carried the weight of the entire night. Known more for her grit, defense, and hustle than scoring bursts, Hull picked the perfect moment to deliver the knockout blow.
Shot clock down to 6 for the Fever. Turner, up fade. Turner kicks it. Hull three-pointer. Bottom!
Indiana's just...
Natasha Howard gave Indiana exactly the toughness they needed in the paint. She poured in 18 points and grabbed 9 rebounds, meeting Connecticut's physicality head-on. Howard absorbed contact, cleared space on the glass, and attacked seams inside to keep the Fever from leaning solely on perimeter play. Her timely scoring burst in the second half arrived just as Indiana was clawing back, buying Mitchell precious minutes before her closing eruption.
Circles back. Howard, assertive, two and the foul. Fever fans have come alive and a chance to make this a one-possession game. Wow.
Brianna Turner's impact didn't show up in flashy numbers, but it was felt in every key defensive stand. Coach Stephanie White praised her post-game for locking down the second half with relentless energy. Turner's length and mobility let her guard multiple spots, clog passing lanes, and force Connecticut into late, awkward shots. Her strong plus-minus captured her value, quiet, gritty work that turned Mitchell's scoring spree into a full-fledged comeback rather than just a personal highlight reel.
You are the consummate professional. We love you. We appreciate you. You are huge. AB, point forward. And like, look, you can't underestimate what it means to have somebody like her who just does whatever we ask, right? Does whatever. I mean, everybody really. Lex, that was a huge. Toss your activity all.
What this game truly showed was Indiana's transformation from a team scraping to survive into one learning how to win under fire. Even without Caitlin Clark, even after Sophie Cunningham's early exit, and even with a backcourt held together by sheer willpower, the Fever proved they're more than a one-star story. Sims organized the offense, Boston controlled the paint, Howard gave them balance, Hull delivered the dagger, and Turner locked down defensively. It wasn't luck or a single heroic night. It was a roster proving it could absorb blows and still punch back. This one didn't just keep Indiana afloat. It signaled they're building a foundation sturdy enough to handle chaos. A team learning how to compete like a contender, not just survive like an underdog.
And that's what it's going to take. Okay, that's what it's going to take. We got to play free. We got to play with no pressure. But we fight. Live that resilience every day. And we will accomplish what we want to accomplish. Okay? Come on.
Yeah. Here we go. Together. 3, 1, 2, 3. Together.
The Fever's win over Connecticut wasn't just gritty. It was season-defining. Still missing Caitlin Clark and losing Sophie Cunningham mid-game, Indiana leaned on Kelsey Mitchell's 38-point explosion, crucial minutes from hardship signee Odyssey Sims, and steady production from Aaliyah Boston and Lexie Hull. The result, a 19-16 record, playoff hopes intact, and a clear message from Stephanie White. We will never be counted out. If you're rooting for Sophie and the Fever, drop your well wishes below.